Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 416. We are live for February 1st. So tonight I have with me a Rob.
Hi.
A Nick.
Hello.
A Peter.
Forever Destron, it's Child Support Day.
Yay! Woo! And a Rick.
So, Peter, I guess it's safe to say you don't bring home six figures a month?
I mean, I've seen the meme. I do that. I don't bring home any money every month.
Does it say we bring home a lot more than 6 figures a month, right?
Not lately. Not for me.
Well, you know.
It ebbs and flows, though.
Right. Well, I just feel like if you're collecting Hasbro mainline, like this last month or so has been absolutely ridiculous. Like, I feel like it's just complete craziness, and then Unicron is coming here, and...
Where the hell... Like, I'm waiting for the infinite post, me included, of where's that gonna go?
Right? Garbage.
Like, I'm already not enthused about it anymore.
Right.
Oh,
You know,
no. Well, Rob, I want to see a follow-up video for your, what was it, the flapjack stack pancake?
I don't know, I'd have to, do stuff, and I'm not into that anymore.
That's rough.
I do like the planet mode still, though, so that's probably how it'll stay.
Yeah.
Planet mode's dope.
I just feel bad for anyone, keeping this mint in box, or multiples mint in box. I don't know who those people are, but
I may not even open mine at this point. I don't see the point anymore.
Do you have to have a new wing of your storage unit in order to?
What you do is you put a tablecloth over it, and you say it's your new dining room piece, Nick, and you just ignore the fact that it's a toy under there. I mean, you know how much dining room tables cost?
Yeah,
they're not cheap.
Well, I mean, that is a really nice looking
Probably
box.
Less than Unicron cost.
You can't get Unicron at a garage sale, so.
Yeah.
But guys, we're not here to talk about a half hour to transform Transformer. Tonight we're here to talk about non-transforming Transformers.
Transformers that don't.
That is true.
We already had that episode, Nick.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, we've had that a couple times.
Literally
here.
that.
So, yeah, so over the weekend, Super 7 made an announcement with some Transformers, and I said to myself, you know what? I need to find the 4 people in this world that would be most excited about this announcement and get those people on the show. So, here we are.
Mission accomplished.
Here we are. So, yes.
So I was the one who posted it in our group first. I think it was just timing. I was at the computer when the Super 7 email went out.
Timing!
I had no idea this was coming. But immediately, it was pretty obvious, oh, this is Action Master homages. Now not necessarily as much with the Prime, because Action Master Prime, came with a big truck.
Yeah. Two of them are Action Master homages. The other two are not.
Not yet, at least. I don't
They're
know.
Not likely to be.
Yeah, I don't know what you could do for Prime, but Starscream could easily make Action Master Thundercracker here.
Sure, the Seeker body could be used for several different figures.
Yeah, but this one in particular.
Wait a minute, you're saying that the Seeker is going to get repainted?
I know,
Yeah.
What a fucking concept.
I know, right? But if they do, that would be exciting, because this is, to me, one of the more memorable Action Masters that they made, just because look at it. It's going to blind you. I think this toy is
I
one
love
of the
shattered glass.
Hey now. I think this toy is one of the reasons, like, I think there's really just a handful of why G2 gets this, like, people say, oh, G2 was neon, even though this toy has nothing to do with G2 at all. Yep. Like, I really think that comes from, like, 5 figures, and that's really it.
I think it comes from a misconception of
what G2 is.
What G2 is, where it started. A lot of people, I mean, even people from the Dreamwave era were like, G2 is when Unicron and Rodimus showed up, and they're just wrong.
Oh my god.
Yeah, look at Rick. Exactly that face. Like, you guys are just wrong. And then people thought, I stopped paying.
Why do you say these things to me when you know I should kill you for them?
Exactly. And then there's those individuals, they stopped paying attention in 1988. So anything after that is G2 to them, because they're just like, I don't care anymore. Pretenders are G2 and Action Masters are G2.
Yeah.
Because they don't turn into trucks.
Like, the only thing that I think is kind of more forgivable on that is the late European G1 releases. A lot of that gets
1.5 stuff.
Yeah, the 1.5 stuff like that. I think that's a more honest. I think most people know about now, at least that are deep into the hobby. Not maybe newer people like that came in like the last 5 years or whatever. But and some of those are colorful, but again, not really all of them. Not any more than the rest of the line as a whole.
Well, and a lot of those had the newer insignia, the newer fonts on the packaging. They were, by and large, just and they were reused. A lot of them in the official G2 line. 1.5 is weird.
Yeah. But anyways, I think if you're talking about Action Masters, to me, he's one that stands out. I'm looking forward to Super 7 doing a repaint of it. I'm interested definitely in the Croc. The Bombshell a good bit. I know Nick's mad about that, but I love the choice. I think it's a good choice. It's what Super 7 does.
Could have been any other Action Master that
Nobody said anything about Red Series so far.
We're not talking about Red Series.
We haven't gotten to that point yet, Rick. There's plenty of time. Give it time. We've got 2 hours, 3 hours here, whatever.
But
just to define our terms and get some facts out there about this Ultimates line. That is not the final articulation in those pictures. That's all prototypey and rendery, and it's not finished. They are expecting the final articulation will be somewhere along the lines of Ultimates Voltron 2.0, the revised Ultimates Voltron they're doing. It's due out sometime in the next couple of months. So the articulation will be closer to that figure, is what they said. I
ignored that figure and didn't know they were doing a second one either. Like
the first one was not as well received as they had hoped, and so they've done a revision.
Like, I mean, I have some of their other Ultimate stuff from a little bit of Masters of the Universe, as well as their Ninja Turtle stuff. I have Wave 1, Wave 2. I think just came in stock at Big Bad, and that should be shipping to me soon. But is articulation like that?
I think the robots, like the Voltron articulation, I think is a little less than the Turtle, but not by much.
Like, I don't expect these to have waist, probably.
That'll be interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that they are planning at least 3 waves. I've been told it's okay to say that.
Sure, more if it's successful as it goes.
With exclusives and whatever thrown in here and there.
Yeah, probably something like that. Who knows? Nothing announced. Nothing that I'm aware of.
But these will have more articulation than the reaction figures, and the reaction figures basically have the same amount of articulation as the original Generation 1 Action Master figures. So it's homages to figures that are originally articulated like the reaction figures, but with more articulation, which makes them more than Transformers that don't, but less than Transformers that do.
And the other thing I can say is it's safe to say they're going to do more than G1, and that's a direct quote.
Interesting.
Yuck.
So here's my... Okay, so Nick, you bring that up.
Yeah.
Here's where I see this line succeeding, where the red line won't go.
Right.
The red line has surprised us where, hey, we're getting Transformers Prime RC, we're getting a Cheetor.
Sure.
Right, that's surprising to me. But, this line has already surprised me with the Bombshell.
Ugh.
And perfect. So here's where I see this line. You do characters from comic books that are not necessarily Transformers.
Zaron.
Give me a Zaron. Oh my god. Me and you. We're here.
You know what I want is DevCon.
I'll take a DevCon, but we're gonna get a DevCon out of Scourge in a year anyway. He's gonna be in Gen Selects.
Who was the? There was 10 from IDW. There was Bob.
Oh, Bob would be good.
Oh, Bob would be nice. Yeah.
I forget his
That's
name.
if they have the rights for that. I don't know if they do or don't.
Well, it's
I don't know how it expands.
It doesn't.
It's not specific like that? Because Ninja Turtles is very specific like that.
It would be very odd it would be extremely, extremely odd Hasbro to say you only have a license for G1.
It is my strong suspicion that IDW is on the table.
Like that before.
Fun.
The only example I can think of was before modern licensing took place. The only example I can possibly think of is Hard Hero did a Transformers G1 bus line, and then they started doing a Beast Wars, which at the time was a separate line. But Beast Wars was still like it had just ended.
Right.
And they only got Rhinox out.
Rhinox.
Right. They did the Rhinox just so they can get the license.
Yeah. I wish I would have done more of those.
Well, either way, it's an interesting thing. I'll be curious, like, as you said, it's a lot of renders and kind of prototype stuff, but like the partners for Bombshell and Bonsai-tron, I'm curious how much do they or don't they do. I haven't looked at Twitter or Brian's Instagram or any of that stuff to try to see, like, are they going to fit on the head and attach to the back like they're supposed to, that type of thing or not? I don't know. Do we know? Do you know?
I can reach out and see if I can get that answer. Let's see if we can get that answer in real time.
Most likely.
I mean, I kind of expect it should, but you never know. I know a lot of people were hit with the sticker shock. I don't disagree, but if you buy Super 7 stuff, it's not surprising to you.
So one of the things on that, Brian actually had an interview with Pixel Dan. I was watching I think it was yesterday that he had posted it, and talking about that, because I believe that these figures are like $10 more than their other Ultimates line. Yes. And essentially what he was saying
and those are expensive too.
Right, those are $45 and these are $55 each. And so essentially what Brian was saying is that like the cost of materials has gone up, the cost of labor has gone up, like everything has gone up. And so he was saying that you should see this. Now again, I don't know. This is what he said, that essentially, toys right now, like a lot of the stuff coming out in the spring and the summer where they had the old prices, that like you're going to see a price increase. And again, we've seen some of that already with some of the Hasbro stuff, where I think their stuff's like $3 more expensive. And so people
Deluxes.
Like the Marvel Legends and things like that. Yeah, Deluxe
anything
is $3
that was a
more.
$20 price point is now a $22.99 price point.
Right. So essentially he was saying that was part of it is that the fact that like they couldn't get, the price that they got their materials and the labor costs and all that kind of stuff, that they had to price it based on that. And I don't know either, but I would assume that, most of the collectors of the Super 7 stuff, again, are not as price sensitive as others. So they make lower runs. Yeah. They make lower runs on this stuff and whatnot. So I think that they had to price it to, make some money themselves.
And to me, Super 7's always been like a niche of a niche collector, other than like maybe when they ran classics. Other than that, that's when things were priced more in line. He-Man, Masters Classics. Since as they were kind of lining up to no longer have that license, when Mattel decided to take it back, they really started branching out hard. And as soon as they did, though, their prices started going up a bit again. And with the Ninja Turtles Ultimates being one of the big ones, because at $45 a pop, and for what's worth, some of them are huge. Like it may be like how big that their Baxter Stockman is. It's a large figure, but they price it by the wave. So like while he's larger, then something else might be a little smaller. But it's when you're used to like the Ninja Turtle community is more used to like NECA, and NECA does your average figure, like I got NECA Splinter here, is like $25, and there's lots of sculpted detail. There's lots of, they're all painted. QC's hit or miss.
Yeah, it's a NECA, so if you look at it sideways, it might break.
Yeah, But, and those are also a lot smaller, but NECA manages to mass produce at a much larger scale, while I always thought Super 7, again, is kind of like a niche of a boutique shop, and that just does stuff that's so, like the reaction stuff. People expect this to be $10 when it was like, what, 25 or 30? I can't remember.
Like 25.
Yeah, so it's... I'm used to it. It doesn't surprise me, but it's just such a big put off to people. And I wonder if that's just the lane that they've decided, we're going to make less and we're going to sell it for higher. And that's just where we've ended up, and that's where we're going to stay because it's safer to us instead of try to lower it by $10 and sell a bunch more of them. And honestly, when you're making Action Master Ultimates, I don't know if that's necessarily the wrong choice there. But,
right. I
It's
think
about the character, right? Not about the toy necessarily. But hey, I want to touch on sticker shock again. Right? You want to talk about stickers? Like I collect more than Transformers, right? I have all the classics He-Man. I got the new He-Man. I got all the Thundercats. You want to talk sticker shock? How about that Thunder Tank for $450?
Yeah, I mean, and this is I think one of their biggest problems is that they make really nice stuff, and it might even be priced appropriately for how it's made. But then, if you're making something that's $450, maybe you need to rethink that. Maybe make it a little less deluxe.
Like, how big are Thundercats right now? Right? Yeah. Is there a show? Is there a movie coming out? Is there an ongoing comic book series? No, and you're making a $450 dream piece, right? But how much is a Cat Slayer going to be at that point?
I don't know that it gets made.
I think it all just
be looking at $1,000 for something like that.
If they make a Cat Slayer, I'll pay $1,000 for it.
Oh, Peter!
But you know what? The Cat Slayer's got to be as big as Snake Mountain.
It better be. It better be. Buy that sucker for $1,000.
And that's going to be a lot less popular than Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
Well, but they just helped me feel better about some of my HasLab purchases.
once you get up into the $50, the $55 price point where these Ultimates are, the Transformers Ultimates are, it draws the comparison to other figures of that price point. Just that's what it is. And when the other figures in that price point are SH Figuarts, which is another niche series with a small production run because it's for the Japanese market, which is not a huge market.
Price anymore though.
Or when you start comparing it to this is the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat line. Super articulated figures, and these will have nowhere near that level of articulation. But the price is comparable.
I am not as familiar with the Storm Collectible stuff. I haven't handled any of them open, but I routinely handle SH Figuarts, and I know that they are, in my opinion, the top action figures on the market right now. There's nothing better.
They're extremely good.
Yeah.
But that's again like
I got one of those.
Rebel Tech figures used to be around that price point roughly, like maybe a little bit more, and now they're up to 90. Just depending on where you get them and the exchange rate and things like that. So, I mean, I think that, again, we're seeing this, all across the board where, all of our items are raising in price and whatnot. So, and again, like we said, it's a niche thing. So, I don't know. That's the thing that's tough.
The prices are going to continue to go up, and they're going to continue as long as people keep buying stuff. They're going to keep making stuff. So... Yeah. We complain about it, but then we buy it, and then we're surprised when they make more, and then we complain, and it's this cycle that we've been going through for I don't know how long, long time.
It's one of those. I don't have Super 7's books in front of me, obviously, but prices are made up for literally everything. Yeah. That's just how the world works. The manufacturing cost doesn't play as big a part into what the final value of something is on the store shelf as much as people might think it does.
That's true. Very true.
I got a small insight to it at a place I worked where I'll just call them doodads. We made doodads, and the price we sold them for was 70% more. And not every item was that way. The margins were only 50% more. It depended on the doodad. And I think a lot of it, it's less, they're just gouging things. I mean, people need to eat.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like people have to make profit on this. You got to pay people's salaries and Super 7's not a big shop by any means.
At some point, do you take your manufacturing from? I mean, and this is I'm totally making this up, but I do believe all their stuff is made in China.
I don't know.
And like as many of the other larger manufacturers have done, they've taken their manufacturing out of China and moved it someplace else cheaper. Like Hasbro went to Vietnam at this point.
Yeah.
At some point, do you not look at your factory and go, okay, well, you're making us not competitive anymore. We need to move this elsewhere that's more competitive. I mean, I don't know. I'm not running their business. I don't know their deal.
So
they make a fine product, and I wouldn't want them to compromise the quality of the product. But at some point, you need to take that cost into account.
And I've said this before whenever we talked about Super 7, and I haven't listened to this new interview he's done with Pixel Dan, apparently. But one thing I've always liked when I hear Brian talk about stuff is I think he is passionate, like really about what they make, and he makes what he wants.
Sure.
And I think that is a cool mindset for a business owner of toys, and that's why things like the reaction line are, they're 5 points of articulation, because that's what he likes. And so that's what he makes. That's what he knows. He doesn't try to make SH Figuarts or Storm Collectibles level of your modern day import action figure articulation, which is super. He's like, it breaks the sculpt. I don't like it. He's like, I want the sculpts to look clean, and that's the way the Ninja Turtles are the way they are. And, they don't have the articulation of NECA either. But they're very detailed, and they're very good toys. At least my Wave 1 I was really happy with. And so when you see him doing like the Thundercats thing for $450, I just think that's the price he needs it at to work for his business. He has to have something to say, how many do I think this will sell? He knows what his other sales are on the line, has some idea what the drop-off is, from like, when you get to the big things. He has to have some of that and just like, well, $450 is what we need to sell it at, especially given how much shipping has gone up so much over the past year and a half. Right. It's people's like, oh, they're gouging. It's like, dude, this is the most non-essential thing you could possibly come up with. And if that's what he thinks he needs for his business to sell, then that's what it is. Maybe he could sell more if he sold it for $300. Maybe he'd lose his shirt if he tried to sell it for $300. Maybe it'd be such a big risk if put the company under. I mean, how many employees does Super 7 have? 10?
Maybe if it wasn't built as a solid item, if it were more hollow or something.
Right, but why do I want that? If I'm gonna get okay, say if I'm going to pay $450 for the Thunder Tank or whatever, and it is a high-quality item, right? But then he could have made it for $300 and it would have been crappy. I don't want that. I would rather pay the $450 for, something that's good. That I would actually go, well, I probably paid a little more than I wanted to, but, darn it, this is my Thunder, this is the perfect item that could go with the other figures, the Ultimate figures that I have that are Thundercats, and look at that, I have a display and whatever, and
I'm not saying make it
that
junky.
shelf is
I'm
done.
Instead, make it more like the vehicles of our youth.
Yeah.
Where they're mostly plastic shells.
More like G.I. Joe vehicle. An 80s G.I. Joe vehicle is what you're saying.
Yes, like that. Wherein it looks good from the outside, it displays well. It does what you need it to do, and it's not $450. It's
I don't know. I mean,
I'm making all of that up.
I know.
It could have been one of those where no matter what, he needed to price that at $450. Just because, just to have it made, because there's flat costs with, designing a figure and getting molds made and etc. It doesn't there's some wiggle room there, obviously, but it's going to cost X amount just to get this thing made, whether you make it, and there's a bit of a scale on how complex or detailed you make it. It doesn't overly affect that cost. And he's like, well, for this to work for us, to be the brand we want it to be, it's going to need to be at $450 for us to, to make what we need to make off of it. To give that's no business wants to be in it to lose money. If he thought it wasn't going to work and wasn't going to sell it at that, he wouldn't do it. I don't think. That would be silly.
The one thing I'll say is, oh, sorry.
Well, let's point out, back to what Rob's saying, and it ties into this. Let's say you work for a company and it costs $2 to make item A, right? You sell it to the big box store for $4,
right?
And then they sell it for $15 to $16. Right. That's where part of the markup comes from. And let's remember, they're selling that Thunder tank for $450. There's no middleman. They're selling it direct to you. Mm-hmm. Imagine if they sold it to Walmart.
Yeah.
Right.
But with that, they're having to pay someone to store this stuff when it comes in, just like they did with Snake Mountain. Somebody has to, to process the orders and has to ship them out as well. Like, there are costs with that. While they are selling it direct, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if they contract out that service when these big shipments come in to warehouse this stuff and to help them, to get it out.
Sure, there could be warehousing and logistics involved, absolutely. Yeah. And either that's in-house warehousing and logistics, or it's contracted, sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying is more cost with that.
That's every business.
Yeah, exactly.
They could do it all in-house, and they can have you fax in your order, and they can store everything at Cattle Baron Parkway, and then they can get rid of your credit card number. They'll lose that for you. Then they'll ship you the wrong thing. Then they won't have a replacement when it's broken. And then they'll give you a bunch of... So NECA has the BotCon business model. Cool.
They have we sold you exclusives directly, and we don't give you replacement parts. F off.
It's rewarding. That's
really sweet for my Toka and Razar. I love it. And that's one thing I have heard. I haven't had any issues with Super 7 stuff, but I have heard that, like, if you got some issues, you hit them up and they will do what they can. And they're smart enough to have replacements to a point.
Here's the thing. If something goes wrong with the production run, they'll fix it. And that's one of the beautiful things about Super 7. They just had an issue with 2 of the Thundercats figures from the first couple waves. Panthro, there was some miscommunication between the factory and the final sample and whatever, and his shorts were the wrong color. So they put together an accessory set with new shorts for him, a new accessory for, I want to say it was Jackalman, and then like a couple other extra guns and weapons just because.
Nice.
And it was all like, hey, look, we messed up these 2 things. We're making it right. Here's how you fix it on your figure. And they have done that before. They did it with a Triclops from...
My Triclops is messed up. There was no replacement part for it.
With the head was supposed to spin. And
yeah, it's very much
stuck. There was a replacement for that.
Yeah, I still haven't replaced my Triclops set. I did get the thing.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Oh, I must have missed the fact there was a replacement then. That's on me, I guess.
It was a tiny little package. It was like this big. Little yellow shipping package.
Right.
Easy to miss.
Well, I mean, I don't think I knew to get it, is what I'm saying. I don't think I knew it was a thing.
I showed up.
If you buy your Super 7 stuff either direct from them or from one of the major retailers, the thing automatically gets shipped to you if they need to ship you a thing. And it's beautiful. So that's one of the things they're doing right, and it's great and good for them. And you won't get that with most other companies.
I mean, the one thing I will say, as far as like the pre-orders, I kind of like the way that they do it, where it's it's open for a set period of time, like a month, I think, for these specific ones, and you get your order in, and then your order is your order. It's not like some of these other stuff that's been going on with some of these retailers, where you think you get an order, but Target, as we've learned from those Target reps, your order is not necessarily...
You know how to take the reservation, but you don't know how to hold the reservation.
What is the point of a reservation? Why make a reservation?
Yeah, and it's funny because then on the back end, people complain about how long it takes for Super 7 stuff to come in, but it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. You're going to get your toy.
Yeah.
How long does it normally take? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Take my money, guarantee me a thing, you ship it to me in a year, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Well, the problem is that they pass along the factory expected dates and say, okay, well, if the factory does ship when they say they will, then it'll get to us in a month.
They
then,
no
the factory's
factory
always 3
ever
months
ships
late.
when they say they will.
Have we not learned this from third party?
Yeah, it's one of those where every time they give a date, it's going to come out probably 3 to 5 months after that. Yeah. And they should know how to post date, to say, here's, we expect it to actually really ship in this quarter, realistically, because it happens every single time. And coronavirus, again, also really messed up everyone's dates for everything. Sure. But, even that aside, even before that, and, now that the factories are back up to running, it's still happening to some degree. But, I suspect when you order these, they may say you're going to ship late, this year. I'm not sure what they say.
End of the year is what it says for Wave
Bullshit. It'll probably be here early next year. Is my
January,
realistic guess,
February,
which is fine. It's totally fine.
I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all.
But the point is, you get in your order and you get it. You don't have to worry about it not being filled. You don't have to worry about scalpers. You don't have to worry about driving to stores.
And they give you a full month. They give you, at least 2 paychecks, or if you're weekly, 4 paychecks to get the thing. Yeah.
And
plenty of time.
And I don't know what they're doing with this yet. I haven't looked, but like with the Ninja Turtle stuff, they worked with Big Bad so that Big Bad could sell it at the same price that Super 7 did.
It is the same thing with these.
Okay, you see, and like there actually is a middleman. They're working that out, but so you can have Big Bad deal with it for people that are like, I don't want to pay right now. You can get it through Big Bad.
It's me. Yeah. That's where I pre-ordered mine.
Yeah, you may have to pay sales tax, which you don't if you, depending on your state, get it from Super 7 directly. But your shipping will be cheaper. So you got to bring out your Don and economics calculator to figure out, where you'll save your $5. But,
yeah.
So the one downside about all of their high price point larger items is that I really don't want them to do any accessories or deluxe size things for the Ultimates line because I don't want to have to make the decision to buy it.
That's a you problem.
I know. I don't want to see any of that stuff. I don't want to see anything.
Ark's coming.
Come on, man.
The Ark's coming.
I honestly think they're probably going to do a party wagon for Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And I think they would really love to do a sewer playset. I think if NECA's talked about doing a sewer playset, but theirs would be based off the cartoon, not the toy. They don't have that license. Right. Again, Ninja Turtle licensing is very specific, apparently.
Imagine if we did for Technodrome.
Oh my God!
But you got to be big enough.
Just take Unicron and repaint them.
But yeah, you gotta start with the party wagon, see how that does. And I do think
it is my suspicion that the Thunder Tank is the test run for the party wagon. If the Thunder Tank does as well as they're hoping, they'll do a party wagon.
Yeah, I think the party wagon would have a lot more heat.
Man.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But I wonder if that's because NECA has said their party wagon is designed completely.
Yeah.
They finished it and it has like a bunch of interchangeable walls because the cartoon did whatever the hell it wanted for whatever episode. I mean, I will buy both. Let's be real here. But I don't know. I think all this to wrap it back up is like, I think Super 7 is a good company.
Yeah.
I think they know who their market is. It's just collectors that want to buy overpriced shit that no one wants. And they make it as best as they can with the design aesthetic they want, which some other people don't. They're like, why don't these articulate more? It's like, because that's not what they want. They want a certain aesthetic, and they don't want to break up the sculpt.
Well,
like it or not. Brian doesn't care.
Again, Brian touched on this in the interview as far as, it's actually kind of tough for Transformers because, if you want whatever X Transformer, you probably can go get it, everyone is doing homages and the red line and all that kind of stuff. But some of these other lines, you can't necessarily get it. I'm super excited if they actually do Silverhawks. I saw that they just got the license for that. And so that's one of the things. It's I don't even know who has, whatever license at this point and whatnot to it. We've gotten some Thundercat stuff and whatnot out there, but, no one's done Silverhawks.
It still kind of is amusing to me that Hasbro was letting them do this. And I think the price point shows that these are different markets. They're not really competing with Red, but Reaction was oh, that's kind of competing with Red a little bit in a way. They're less articulated. But
not at all. Because licensing is not always on the same page as the brand team.
So they may not overly know.
They always, they don't always know to cross the streams. Sometimes their streams are just going that way, and then their streams are going that way, and then they go, oh crap.
Well, I hope Super 7 doesn't get the rug pulled out from under them on either of their lines then that are, one's less articulated but about the same price than Red. This one's twice as expensive, and will probably honestly still be less articulated than Red, but is doing something different. And these are going to be large too, which people need to understand.
Yeah,
These are gonna
they're
be big
like
figures.
an inch or
They're an
so
inch tall, and
larger.
they'll just be thicker.
As I was saying, they don't always, know how to cross streams. So what happens the day where Super 7 puts out a bludgeon, and then here comes Redline bludgeon?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
as long as their character selection is different.
Well, like that top 5 or whatever is gonna happen. It's already happening.
Well, okay, as long as their character selection is different beyond Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, Starscream, Soundwave, Grimlock.
Yeah. Grimlock.
And that's what Super 7's doing right.
Yeah.
And that's also
regular Starscream. It's a ghost of Starscream. We'll make Starscream. Maybe regular Starscream will be the show exclusive.
Yeah.
Oh my God! People would burn the place down.
That's another thing again, being a Turtle fan, I've really liked about Super 7. And they did the same thing with Masters as well. They break their stuff into waves. Usually 4 characters, and they put 1 or 2 heavy hitters, and then they put just random crap. Which I'm being dismissive, but I love that's my favorite part. Because what did NECA do for like 10 years? They had the Ninja Turtle license. Here's 4 turtles. Here's 4 turtles. Here's 4 turtles. There's a lot of other characters than the 4 goddamn turtles.
Right.
And NECA never made them because they couldn't just reprint a buck over and over and over again. But what does NECA do out of the box? 1 turtle, and like Baxter's pretty big, and Splinter's pretty big. But they did it wave 1. They got it to us, and all the waves from them are just a great cross section of the brand, which I love, and I think they're Super 7's going to do this as well.
Do you think Super 7 was pushing NECA because you've seen more diversity now with some of their newer figures, NECA stuff, right? Do you think that the fact that Super 7 released some of these characters are oh crap, I guess we better get on it?
I don't think so. I really don't, because NECA has always, or Super 7 has again always done it this way, where they do their deep cuts with their basic guys. I think it's a convergence because Ninja Turtles blew up all at once. I think Transformers has enjoyed having a collector market known and people knew about it. Who's had the toy line at play for Turtles for long? Playmates. Playmates doesn't know what the hell it's doing and hasn't in a long time. And I think NECA was just too afraid to get outside the safe zone of a Ninja Turtle mold we can use 800 times. And I just think they started to realize, we got to deal with the Target now, and we can sell more of these, and they keep selling out. And then we did some other stuff, and it sold out. And I think the light bulb finally went off with what the collectors had wanted for 10 years in the Ninja Turtle world. And then I think, Super 7 had to get the license around the same time. That's what Super 7 already does. Brian, at least, I've heard Brian, and then on the NECA side, one of the guys that was one of their sculptors, and now he's the brand manager or whatever. He's the guy doing the interviews these days for NECA. They have each talked about each other's brand complementary. They're doing different things for the Turtle line, but they're not competing. They're not going to mix, to be honest. Maybe they're both pushing each other to do good stuff, but that could be why if NECA's got the party wagon coming out, Super 7's going to probably let the NECA one come out and then do theirs later, so Turtle collectors, I don't know how much they're paying attention to that, but I'd find that interesting. And maybe they are. Maybe it's a little of both. Maybe they said, hey, Super 7's doing this.
Rob, I have a professional question for you. Professional curiosity. I'm a big Turtles fan, too. Are you doing both the NECA and the Super 7 Turtles?
Yes. Nancy, I went from having a shelf of Ninja Turtle collector stuff to within 12 months having now a full bookshelf instead of just one shelf of collector Ninja Turtle stuff that is going to fill up very quickly.
See, I'm just doing the Super 7 because those are the ones I played with.
Yeah.
Right? But there are, I want that Krang. I want that, if I could ever find it. I still have my original one from when I was a kid.
It's out there. The last wave of NECA stuff has been really, really produced and heavily. People are seeing there, and then they're selling out, and then a week later they're seeing 7 more. NECA's, again, it took them forever to realize, hey, we should do more than the Turtles, and now they're realizing, oh, hey, we should make a lot more of these and keep stocking. So I think you'll get there.
I didn't collect NECA because I couldn't get the early ones.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't want to go back and pay an arm and a leg for them.
A lot of them they're rerunning. Like they've restocked Bebop and Rocksteady like 5 times. You know, so like they're getting there. But then stuff like this Splinter, again, this is probably my favorite thing they've done. Because I've wanted cartoon Splinter since ever. And we finally have one, and he looks so great. But we're not here to talk about Turtles.
So for this wave, like, who are you guys most excited for?
Bonsai-tron.
Bonsai-tron.
By far.
Bombshell.
Yeah.
I want that big green head. I want that big green piece to fit on top of his head.
I mean,
Here is my problem with Bombshell. Why not just do the regular color Bombshell and include his Action Master accessories? Because I don't see them going back and doing regular Bombshell at some point. It's a different sculpt.
Because it's Action Master Bombshell, and that's his colors.
But who gives a fuck about Action Master Bombshell and not cartoon Bombshell?
Everyone else except you on this podcast.
Yeah.
You are outvoted, sir.
You're saying, who gives a fuck about any character that didn't appear in the show? You know, so
exactly.
That's not what Super 7 does, bro.
Well, okay, fine, but like,
you can have the normal color as again a store exclusive or something. I don't know.
Probably not. They'll probably move on to other guys, and they won't go back and do him. And then I will have this useless Bombshell.
For Bombshell, is that like your favorite character?
I like the Insecticons. I'd like to have just 3 Insecticons that all fit together.
You know,
I just don't have that.
What if they made the other 2 in theoretical Action Master decos with partners? That would be fun. That's what they should do. I got like 800 of the other Insecticons. I don't need them.
Okay, but like...
And I hope it makes you angry when they do it.
Some people like Nick that don't collect third-party Rob don't have 1 million Insecticons.
Look at the other Action Master characters that spot could have been. If you're hell-bent on doing Action Masters. Could have been Mainframes. Could have been... Jackpot could have been Spreem. I'd have taken Omega Spreem because is he technically a different character? I don't know. Whatever. But like at least he's different enough.
Okay.
Well,
Take
they probably haven't picked out elites yet.
I'll just stop.
What?
So what would be great is if they were to like say, hey, we should find someone who knows a lot about Action Masters who was at Hasbro and saw all the unreleased Action Master art and said, hey, could you talk to us about that? And then that person theoretically would be like, well, sure.
What I'm hearing is that Nick needs to tell his friend about Rick.
So coincidentally, the Omega Supreme, it actually did say Omega Supreme handwritten on the art. Just so at some point between it being made and the packaging, the name got switched. And nobody knew to correct the name.
Whoops.
But the art, the concept art, actually said Omega Supreme on it.
I mean, so I absolutely love the elites. If in case anybody doesn't know, when I was hosting After My Wallet for a year, I slowly got in all of these over the show, and so I have all the elites, and they're fun. And Omega Supreme is obviously based off of Omega Supreme, but in just wild-ass colors.
Yeah, bizarre friggin' colors.
Yeah, and then... But they did some unique ones, like a Windmill here that is just its own thing. You know? It's
sure, hey, that could have been a figure over Bombshell.
Well, I think, though, when we talk about Action Masters, which I didn't know how much we were going to talk about Super 7 versus Action Masters themselves, but Action Masters all have something that transforms with them.
Right.
They are not just G.I. Joes. They obviously were, hey, G.I. Joes are popular. How can we apply that to Transformers? Because, I don't know, Hasbro has done that since the 80s, and they still do it today. What's popular? How can we make it into something?
We'll get back to that thought. Finish
okay.
What you say. And
okay. But I think it would be hard to kick off a line with the elites because they need to transform to really be the figure.
But the whole point of this line is that nothing transforms. They're all just action figures.
But the partners... Are the partners going to transform? And it's not much.
The answer I was just given is that it's too soon. I don't have that answer yet.
Okay. So they don't even know yet.
Well, remember that my guy is not on the manufacturing side of things.
Yeah.
He's retail. So he doesn't have all the...
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it's like I suspect they will make them do whatever their gimmick was to some less. Like I don't expect it to be spring loaded like for Bonsai Trial's weapon or whatever,
Yeah,
which
no,
I believe.
that's not going to happen.
But can it flip out and have then the other part flip down to have a handle and put in his hand? That seems pretty doable.
Simple. What is it, like 4 pieces all together, 2 arms and the torso, do whatever, So,
yeah, it's not complex.
theoretically.
So I think that starting with something like the Elites, I think that's something you got to wait on until you get your feet wet, and see if you can get there. And it would cost more too.
I don't see him having any kind of transformation. That's not happening. That's not what they're going to do. They might do an Omega Supreme, whatever, and maybe he'll just be bigger because he's Omega.
Yeah.
And that would be nice to get a bigger Omega compared to the other guys. And here I said, I don't want anything deluxe, and now I'm designing a deluxe thing in my brain.
What were you saying, Peter?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Do you think they do transforming ones, Peter?
I think Action Master Bombshell is a deep cut enough. And, most U.S. market people don't have any idea. Most U.S. market people have no idea what an Action Master is. They're just like, oh, no, what's going on? It's all G2 to me. Action Master Bombshell on top of that is an extra layer of obscurity. So it's already a deep cut. Some people are going to think, oh, it's Bombshell. I remember Bombshell or whatever from when I was a kid and I watched him on the cartoon. They aren't even going to notice that it's Action Master Bombshell. They are not going to give a shit.
The colors are totally different.
They're not. Okay,
they're wrong.
Look at the colors.
The colors are wrong.
Okay, Nick, what color was Bombshell in the cartoon? Gray. What color was his toy? Purple. Yes. So you're already mixing up the colors and the things. The people who are buying these things don't care. Either they want the Action Master Bombshell because it's Action Master Bombshell, or they don't care and they're buying it because it's Bombshell. Period. I mean, they don't care about the shoulder greebles. They don't care about Needler. They don't care. They're buying it because it's a transformer that reminds them of a thing. It doesn't cost $150 like the third-party Masterpiece stuff, and it's cooler than the $8 Legends.
And it's officially licensed.
Toys was $150. It is no longer.
Oh God!
Right.
I regret selling those when I did.
Right. That's an investment.
So with
Like
AM
GameStop
Bombshell
stock.
being a deep cut as it is, I don't think it's too much further a leap to just do a Supreme and do it in 2 different decos at some point.
If it lives, if the line lives.
If the line lives.
I was gonna
I
say
am
that's
so
the big
happy.
question.
I am so happy that we're getting Action Master nods. I love Action Masters. And they don't get enough love.
I love getting back to the Action Masterness of this whole episode. Action Masters were a lot of fun for what they were. I love the vehicles. I like the whole vehicle transformation thing and the little partners that would clip on and stuff, and that was cool.
On that note,
I wish they were a little more like G.I. Joe style articulated, but they were fine at the time.
Well, and that's kind of my question with this line is, would you have rather have seen like reaction sized figures with vehicles?
Mm-mm.
If the reaction transformers had been more in line with the original Action Masters, like you could interchangeably slot them into a display, I would have loved that.
Right.
But they were what they were, and I enjoy them. I enjoy the reaction stuff for what they are. I can squint and sneak an Alpha Trion in with my Action Masters, and it'll be okay. But I can't put Devastator with Devastator.
no. It's totally different.
Yeah,
Not so much.
they don't fit.
And so, Super 7, I think, is willing to go out there if the line is still around in a year or two. Like, my favorite vehicle is probably, if not Action Master Thundercracker, it's probably Slicer. And, it's Wheeljack, in case you didn't know, with, goofy colors.
Shattered glass wheeljack.
Get your
Stop
Dark
it, you.
Beast out of here. Yeah.
And so it has a car, and this, again, all the Action Masters had something that transformed. And so you got the car, you stand it up, and it's like body armor, like out of the alien fight scene. So he comes in here, and he slots in, and he totally is transformed now. And it has like some gimmick in it where it kind of like half walks or something, doesn't it? I don't know.
It buzzes. And who was it? Rumbler did the same thing.
Yes.
So you can easily retool that, which is great.
Yeah. It's a 2-for-1. They'd be dumb not to do it, is what I'm hearing. Get on it.
I agree.
So outside of Action Masters, what would you guys like to see from the Ultimates line?
Zaron, 10,
Uh-huh.
Flame, any of the high-end dies from the British series.
Oh yeah.
DJD. Give us non-transforming DJD guys.
Mm-hmm.
Give us any of the non-transforming or rarely transforming more than meets the eye, or all right, give us an official turmoil. Give us
Who's that, Rick?
Slizardo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us the
Yeah,
alien
that's-
characters from Gen 1.
Yeah. Give me those guys.
Yeah, give me some of the IDW guys that I don't have to assemble myself.
Yeah.
You know what everybody's really wanting? The trio of
players.
humans from the start of IDW.
I would,
No, but if
Hunter
you gave me a
O'Neill.
Verity in her armor from the Last Stand of the Records, that I'd probably want.
That would be
I-
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't need a Hunter. You know, I might actually take a Hunter O'Neill if he had the Sunstreaker outfit on.
Spoilers.
Into the dead Sunstreaker head. That's
Right.
actually with the eyeball hanging out.
Ah.
For me, I think the Marvel UK deep cuts, that's where I would go. Like that's what interests me the most. Like you say, DJD's awesome, and MMC has fully filled that need amazingly.
They have, but for people that only want to spend $50 or $45, $55, whatever, we already talked price. But if you don't want to spend $200 for your Thesaurus or your Helix, you want to spend $55 for a 7-inch, I can just slot it in. It's fine, squint, and it's fine representation. That would scratch that itch.
See, the thing is, I don't think it would work. I think if you do a Thesaurus and it's not, he's got to be huge to be in scale with the line to some degree. Because the whole point is he towers over everybody.
Not everyone is in our headspace in terms of how scale should work with Transformers because it is Transformers and scale has never worked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I do think that some of the Marvel UK stuff would look more visually interesting. Like, that's the thing I do like about all these figures is I think that they're all, when you get them and you display them together, they're all going to look visually interesting. And you put your, Optimus Prime with his basketball and his surfboard together. And
The dumbest accessories.
I think an Alpha Trion would be perfect for this line.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
The Fembots.
Yeah, Fembots would be good too.
So yeah, I mean those are characters that are like one per wave.
Yeah.
You get one UK guy per wave.
Yeah.
Right. You get.
I'm not saying we need to have the entire. We need Earthquake, Flame, Boltax, and Zaron in one wave. No, I'm not saying that.
I want G Hide or
What?
1.5 Ironhide.
I would-
Power Masters Ironhide from.
That's Gen 2. That's Gen 2.
Was that Gen 2 or 1.5? Power
Gen
Master?
2. Gen 2. Gen 2.
You got both, right? I believe you can both packages.
No, he didn't get both packages. He only got Gen 2. It was the Lightformers and the Tracons got Gen 2 and Gen 1.5. The Power Masters were Gen 2 only. Go.
I just want to see Rick grab something and be like, wait, they didn't
His
actually...
stolen unofficial product does not count.
Right. I was going to say, wait, they didn't
Does
release
not count.
this? Like, I swore that they released this. They had this at the Hasbro store, and that whenever they,
Yeah.
You know
can't
what
go
I'd
with-
really like to see from an Ultimates line? Transmutate.
But we're getting her in the Beast line.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Kingdom.
She's going to be a remold of an existing toy and probably won't look right.
Transmutate would be good.
Yeah.
As well as
7-inch, because she'll be tall that way. Posable Transmutate is the right thing.
But would a 7-inch $55 Transmutate sell?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, as much
would
as
a
any of the other
would a
ones.
Bonsaitron sell? Yes,
It's gonna.
here we are.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
Right, but like I have
think weird stuff
1,000
like that
Optimus
The only
Primes and
Transmutate figure that
Starscreams. I
exists
don't
at
have
the
a
moment is a
Bonsaitron.
$200 toy.
and it's garbage. Its
Right.
leg
It's
is
barely
a piece of
5
crap.
POA.
Oh,
So
I'll be right back.
I remembered it differently. You were right, Peter. I remembered it differently.
That's what I like to hear.
It is not the only transmutate that exists.
Oh, right.
You
there's
got that one?
Yeah. Of course I did.
What's the price point on that?
That one,
Like $70.
how is it? I was worried.
It exists. It could be. It's not terrible. It's not amazing.
That's Transart, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's already better than Autobot X, because that thing's like basically a giant Action Master.
I mean, it's well articulated.
That's a thing you need.
There's
It's
an
not
idea
bad.
right there.
It's not bad. It's better than I thought it would be, but it's still not like amazing. But it's a good transmutate, and you don't have a lot of options. I mean, I really don't have a lot of complaints with it. It's just like you don't pick it up and think, oh, this is amazing. You think, oh, cool, it's transmutate. You know.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
No, I'm coming over right now. I'll take it.
See you in like 12 hours or 15 hours or something.
Is there snow out where you are?
What was the Beast Machines plant lady that Rat Trap
Oh,
loved?
Botanica.
Botanica.
Goddamn Botanica.
That's one I don't think we'll ever get. I don't think we'll ever get a Botanica figure.
I
She
don't
won't be
either,
posable.
but-
She'll just be like a tube and a bunch of flappy arms. You can swap her head around.
No, they'll just give you a pack of seeds. This is what they do. They make a Super 7 Rat Trap from Beast Machines, and it comes with a pack of seeds. And on the seeds it says Botanica.
Okay, I got a dumb question. Where's the Botanica Chia pet?
Chia. I bought my wife a Groot Chia pet, and that thing would not grow, no matter what. I tell you what, I'm really disappointed in Chia pet.
My company gave out Chia Flow, the progressive lady. So for about a 6-month period, everyone had Chia Flow on their cubes or whatever, and then some people let their Chias die, and it was just smelling.
That girl's a millionaire from just being in commercials.
Oh yeah, and there's like all sorts of internal product and posters and like fake movie posters, and it's really weird. There's a whole cult of Flow.
So I want to tell you, I expect this guy to be in Wave 2, 100%. And that is Action Master Bumblebee, explicitly, with his little backpack partner thing.
That would bother me less than Bombshell.
I think that's a good grab.
I mean, I expect Megatron to be in there as well. But
With his purple hands and his purple crotch.
the thing is, Megatron, you got to have his big tank, but Optimus Prime doesn't have his truck. So, yeah.
You mean the armored convoy and the neutral fusion tank?
But Optimus comes with the basketball and the surfboard, so what would Megatron come with? You know you're going to get Kremzeek, you're going to get the Electro Mace, you're going to get an Energon Cube, a little Soundwave.
His
He might
mini
even-
pistol.
Did they have any special accessories from that episode where they all got drunk on Energon? Is there anything that would represent that?
No.
You know what he needs to come with? He needs to come with the hand from Cosmic Rust.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
Nobody's ever made that.
Chunk in his chest.
Yep.
That's right.
It would be interesting if they actually followed the Action Master look of this, because this actually barely Megatron.
That's what I'm saying. It has purple crotch, purple hands.
Yeah, and the head is pretty funky. You're not going to be able to see it on my webcam, but look at like some TFU.info. He's like a cone head from SNL. It is seriously like the top half of his head is literally the same height as his face. You know, he has that weird under helmet eyebrow thing going on. Like that thing is huge as well. I mean, I don't know. He's got some big brain plans for once, because this guy is like 6-heading it right now. It's insane.
Maintain low tones.
Yeah, but would they make the tank for it though later on? If it could be a recolor with a new purple part that sinks in from
They
the
could recolor the
Thundercat
Thunder
tank.
tank. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So a little
And
bit
then
of
they can
remolding.
use that tank to make Armada Megatron vehicle mode.
I don't even know what this transforms into. I haven't done it in a decade.
Platform.
It's like
It's a platform and a little jet.
it's a triple changer.
The
Or
turret
Yeah.
comes off, turns into a jet, and then the
That's
rest of the
right.
tank turns into a platform.
Wait.
And if you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at it, the vehicle mode for the Neutral Fusion tank there
I just
is
transformed it.
Roadfire's vehicle mode. Now you got to take that thing off. The tip comes off.
There. Oh.
But the Neutral Fusion tank is Roadfire from Zone's vehicle mode in different colors. They're the same like look of the tank. Which
Yes,
made
we should ask them how many they think they'd sell if they did a Megatron Action Master tank for $450.
one.
Two.
I mean, probably like
I'd buy it,
7,
but I wouldn't
and
be
they're all
happy
on this
with it.
podcast.
Yay.
I would bitch the whole time.
You can do that anyways.
I would be
We're
intelligent.
This is so much fun. I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, when all you do is hate everything, we're all just numb to it. Like, oh, something came out, Nick's gonna be mad. They should stop making toys because Nick is
lots of stuff.
You're excited to complain about it on the podcast.
No.
Old negative Nick. That's what everybody calls him.
Sorry to be such a Debbie Downer, guys.
Wait, you mean I gotta pay for this toy?
Feline AIDS is the #1 killer of microcassette Jaguars.
Speaking of Action Masters, the Shockwave partner fist fight with both of his arms is the most complicated thing to ever get that exists.
Unless you bought it when you were 10, and you didn't lose the parts because you're a neurotic asshole. So, and then you bought it carded later. Nah.
I went through 2 or 3 eBay sellers that flaked on me before I finally got somebody to send it.
It took you over a year to get all that together, didn't it? It took you a while.
Like, I tried to just buy the arms for a while, and people just kept flaking. One guy, like, died or something. I don't know. And he didn't die.
This just took a turn,
Yeah,
man.
Wow.
But his sister, in theory, started messaging me and saying this and that, you know, and like they gave me my money back. It wasn't like, I don't think they were trying to rip me off. I think they were literally going through something, or otherwise they would have tried to rip me off, right? But it was just, shit was weird. Never had so much trouble getting a mass-produced figures, little parts like that. But
there's like another guy who's like, hey, I'm stuck overseas. If you can just send me some money so I can, you know, buy a plane ticket home, and then I'll get home and I'll mail you your eBay thing plus the cash I owe you.
Totally good for it, bro. And so the elites.
That's what I miss most about there not being a BotCon is there's no more like easy access to big parts parties.
Yeah.
So when they had BotCon, could you actually get like parts for, you know, G2 figures or Action Masters and things like that? Because that was the thing even with TFCon.
They have no
G2
G2.
I mean, it's like anything
depends on
else.
when you're showing up, yeah.
I mean,
rooms
what's
had them,
rare
some-
and expensive is still going to be rare and expensive.
Yeah.
Like the parts for my Action Master Sideswipe, and he's very expensive, and I got him for $3. That's my claim to fame. But I'll never find the parts for this guy. It doesn't matter if there's BotCon every day, and you know, I'm not going to find the parts unless I buy him complete, probably sealed or something.
You gotta go overseas.
There's a graded one. There's a graded one on eBay right now for $1,500. So go for it.
I'll get on that.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Grading is a scam.
Grading is a scam, and it makes me so sad when I see all these different groups who are like, "Hey, bros, should I get this sent in to be graded?" And it's like a
Nobody. I don't need to pay someone to tell me that I have a nice toy.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys better watch out or Paul's going to start getting mad.
I mean, I own graded pieces, but I didn't buy them because they were graded. I bought them because I need this piece. This one's sealed. The price is right, and I'm okay with the fact that it's graded. I'm gonna leave it sealed. My pincher, my double header, you know, they're gonna stay.
Yeah.
I've got a few graded pieces too, but I bought them because the price was right, not because they're graded.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I bought a couple of mint and sealed box pieces, but I bought them at mint and box complete prices. I'm like, I'm cutting the tape. I'm opening this. I'm not paying for sealed Star Saber and Victory Leo, so I cut them open.
It's your toy. You can do whatever you want with it. And I get mad at people who say, "Well, you can't open that. It's a sealed toy from 1988 or whatever." I'm like, it's not your property. Don't tell. It's like you don't come to my house and tell me what to do with my house.
I will
Are you
smash
saying
this shit
you
with a
would
hammer.
cut the tape?
Fight you.
If somebody wants to cut the tape on their toy, it's their toy.
Yeah.
I did like someone in the comments, because, you know, people always come up and they say, oh, should I open this or not or whatever, right? And a lot of people are like, open it, enjoy it, blah, 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 blah. But somebody was like, no, keep it sealed so that way you can sell it to me in 10 years when I need one that's like complete and nice and whatever when like mine wears out.
Oh, you were asking about parts at BotCon. I want to note, like, the earlier years of BotCon, like in the FubPub era, there were definitely, like, parts parties were parts parties. But, like, the last 10 years, I think that really died off. They're not, it's not that they weren't there, but, like, Mega Toy Fan usually had a bin of parts somewhere that you could ask him to break out if you wanted. but like I always thought it was more just. I mean, people selling stuff, and that was fun, and that was definitely there. You go room to room buying stuff, but like if you were looking for actual parts, there'd be maybe one or two people who are usually also dealers on the floor that have their bins of parts, and they might have a couple of those bins in the room, or they might say, "Hey, come by the booth tomorrow."
I remember in '98, I dug through. Someone dumped out a fishing tackle box, and me and the Bickmore brothers were just ruffling through it. It was a buck apart. Just go to town, and it was like going, and it was all There were target masters in there. There were the little double target masters were in there. It was magic, and so we just yoink, 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 yoink. There were things on the sprue. We grabbed everything. Ran away.
You said sprue, and that reminded me of something I wanted to bring up earlier about Super 7 themselves. Because they make what they want to make, and they want to make it as nice as they can and make all the fans happy. And the price is what it is, but like, so when the Ninja Turtle stuff came out, and which are very much they're based off the toy line explicitly, and the nostalgia for that. And so they're like, they got these cool painted weapons, and people are like, classic experience with Ninja Turtles are these solid color, terrible weapons, and then the first wave is all just in a grid, and they're like, we're going to do both then. And that was a change. That wasn't the plan originally.
Right.
Yeah.
And the price didn't change. I'm sure it added to the cost somewhat. But, they already had it molded or designed to some degree.
Yeah.
And so they said, what, we're just going to do both. And this is the Ultimates line. And that's what we're going to do. And we have that flexibility. They threw in extra
if anybody
heads.
From Super 7 is watching for whatever reason, you're doing
Sorry.
really cool episode-specific accessories with the Optimus. Your Ghost of Starscream needs Triptychon's eye and his transformation cog and maybe Metroplex's eye. So, those are things they should have. I'll put that out there.
You need to
I don't know that they're this far in, Nick. Like, if they join, they probably left an hour ago.
You never know. Maybe.
Yeah, like
stuff on while I'm working sometimes.
They showed their Bebop, and people are like, "Why is his head not the right color?" And some people are like, "He should be pink like the toy," and other people are like, "It's too pink. Why is his And so they just did both.
So what you're saying is nerds are never happy ever.
That is very true. But
Speaking of pink,
it's one of those
guy that wants a pink hot rod.
What?
I want a pink hot rod.
Yeah.
Depending on which Shout Factory releases the DVD, he changes his color completely.
Exactly.
You want bright colors or
Percep-
show colors, or do you want Japan Headmasters colors?
All over the map. So it's one of those. I think they really do listen to fans with their Ultimates lines, and so Nick, literally, if you can get that feedback in front of Brian, I think it could actually go somewhere. You need some more specific accessory. Let me help you with that. Or, tell you somebody who knows somebody, here's some ideas that you might want to work in. So.
Paul says he wants the Magenta Hot Rod.
Right. It's all over the map.
Bag of dicks.
So, am I the only one that has an Action Master display going right now?
No, I have all my G1 stuff displayed. I've got a separate glass case for my European and Japanese exclusive, and Mexican and European variants. And then I have all my, as I was saying in the chat before we were on the show, I've been able to get every single U.S. Action Master sealed except for Megatron, and I don't have a sealed Optimus. I have a boxed Optimus. I don't have a Megatron that's boxed at all.
Got it. It's funny. I remember for years I used to see the Tempting Toys guys at Tony.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember seeing him having the elites and the what is the name of the line for Sideswipe and Trax and
91 wave. It's just
okay. I thought it had a name for those four.
It's six
six
figures in the wave. They're all carded just like the regular ones. They're just in a slightly. I mean, the card's a little bit different in terms of art.
Okay. I remember seeing he had some of those sealed and they were $250 or $350, and I saw them there for a few years. I mean, you know, at the time it was just, LOL, you got to be kidding me. You know, I'll go on about my life. And now it's like, man,
The last time I
today's
saw
Rob
them,
with today's budget, with today's collection, I would have bought all of those. You know, I mean, that's how it goes.
the last time I saw them, he had all 4 of the elites for 1,600, and that was in 2010 in Orlando. And I looked at them, and I looked at my then wife, and was like, and she's like,
Papers are in the mail, asshole.
They were shortly after, actually.
Oh.
We may have connected some dots here tonight.
I filed for the.
Peter, do you think
Because she wouldn't let you buy
your
it.
next wife has been born yet?
Huh?
Never mind.
No, she's. I mean, my current, she's older than me, so we're good.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Okay. I was just wondering if your fourth wife was born yet or not.
Are you referencing the SNL skit?
Meet your next wife.
Yeah. It's a really good SNL skit. You should look it up with Tina Fey and what's her name from Parks and Rec?
If
Yeah,
Tina
Amy
Fey's
Poehler.
involved, I'm interested.
Amy
So
Poehler.
speaking
really
of Amy Poehler, I got a little Amy Poehler story if we want to.
You got a little what now?
Let's talk about Transformers.
All right. I won't tell it then. That's fine. Yeah. So give me an Action Master 2-pack of Punch and Counterpunch. Thanks.
Oh. Interesting.
It has to be a 2-pack.
But why wouldn't it just be a 1-pack and you turn them around and do the thing?
Nope.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Won't work.
It has to work. That's
Or-
the whole gimmick.
Maybe it could work.
Like you get Punch or Counterpunch, and then you have to like buy the other figures in the wave to get all the parts formers to put on the
Plop onto.
right.
I could see some. There's opportunity for fun build-a-figure stuff. There's opportunities for fun, like we mentioned Bob earlier. That would be fun. Yeah. There are lots of, as long as the line continues, there are opportunities. I mean, you can do build-a-figures per wave. Everyone else does it. There are a lot of fun opportunities for this if it is a success, and I hope that it is because Action Masters rock.
Is there any bizarre Japanese thing you'd like to see, Peter?
Giltar.
Not a Metal Hawk or a
Why don't you stop and think about it for a bit? You
Minerva.
can't come up with anything.
Yeah.
You're struggling.
Take your time.
We need an official Giltar figure. We just need him.
Speaking of Metal Hawk, like, this is obviously like dreaming upon wishes here, but like, I do think if they wanted to visit Pretenders, Super 7 would be a good fit for chunky, non or barely transforming figures. You know, like that. Like, I think they could do a shell that has a G.I. Joe inside it that maybe folds over and transforms, to some degree.
I would much rather see. I would rather forego the Pretender gimmick and do the Pretender as the ultimate and pack it with a reaction in a robot.
right.
That would be
So,
fun.
like,
You don't think the
the
reaction
blood-
figure fits inside of it?
Nah, it doesn't have to do that. I just want I want the to be opposable Ultimates figure. That's what I want.
I remember supporting
Thank you,
a Kickstarter some years ago where there was Pretender shell looking dudes, and there were like weapons, and they like put together. I was interested.
I doubt any of us have ever heard of that, whatever that is.
Whatever it
At
was.
all.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody here knows it at all.
At all. But anyway, it's a neat idea. It's a really neat idea, and I want to say out loud that I supported it, and I'm sad that we don't have more Pretender love. As much as I love Action Masters.
Like,
Give me-
Landmine holds a special little place in my heart. He was one of the like 3 Pretenders I had as a kid. So if it was a Landmine action figure in the Ultimate style, and then like the inner robot is the little reaction guy,
That'd be a fun.
8-year-old Nick would be very, very happy.
That would be a fun release. I would really like. I'm a sucker for the gimmicks of the old line, and when you take them away, I miss them a lot. Beggars can't be choosers at the same time. You give me a nice articulated chunky bludgeon like the shell, and you give me a little green and brown reaction sized guy with it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. But
So, one thing I know we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, but like, what are you guys' thoughts on this versus Red? Like, would you, like, would you rather only see these characters in red? Would you rather see them in Ultimates? Like, do you like them coexisting? Like, and whatnot? Would they be the same thing as, like, Figure Arts versus Marvel Legends?
Well, no. I mean, it's not Figure Arts versus Marvel Legends at all.
These things are not Figure Arts.
Yeah.
Whatever they are. They're...
The red stuff is all basically deluxe sized, which is good and bad, because it depends on who's in that line and how tall they're supposed to ought to be. This stuff is all going to be Voyager sized at 7 inches. So if they stick with bigger dudes, I will probably have some mix of the two filling in gaps on shelves.
I'm on board.
Theoretical shelves.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one red figure, and it's Soundwave, and I don't know that I'll buy anymore. I wanted one just to check it out, and he had a little tape with him, and I thought that was fun. You know, and it's very much a Marvel Legends of Transformers. You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
You know, like,
but I mean, that's the formula right there.
Yeah, the quality's weird.
Is it?
It's weirdly made to me, but it's a substantial piece when I'm holding it. But it's I don't know. It's
for $20, right? Yeah,
the plastic,
$25.
The plastic to me on the red figures feels a little bit weird.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, the plastic.
Is that because it's Marvel Legends plastic and not Transformers plastic? Is that the whole thing right there? And we're so used to.
It's just
that
scuffs a
different
bunch,
plastic
though.
with no give.
Like, my Marvel Legends don't have scuffs all over it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and, you know, it was just this way out of the box.
That's
you know, and I saw other people's reviewing the Wave when it came out, and, like, a lot of them had that. It doesn't bother me, but it's notable.
Yeah.
But you're making an articulated Bonsai-tron and Croc and, you know, Rad or whatever. I'm going to probably buy them no matter what. Just because how often does that come along? And the answer is never.
Right.
You know, until it does. I mean, Hasbro made a Scrounge, for crying out loud. They made a Straxus. We got a new mold Straxus forever ago. You know, nothing's out of realm anymore and hasn't been for a while.
Yeah, that Straxus was 2011. I would love to see Galvatron get a retool as Straxus next year.
New Age is.
I know New Age is, and that's what gave me the idea, is if they're doing a Voyager or a Leader class or whatever size they're doing for Kingdom, just swap that head out and change the shoulder pauldrons and change his cannon, and hey-oh, Straxus, give him an axe.
So kind of like how the Ninja Turtle Renaissance started last year, I feel. It really feels like non-transforming Transformer figures are going to see kind of a different world with Red and Super 7 really being in there now. I think it's going to be interesting. I think both brands are a lot more willing to take more of a risk. You know, well, Red's not a brand, but that line, like, I mean, I don't think Prime RC is like unknown. Cheetor's not unknown, but it's not G1.
But it's been 10 years since RC was seen. That version of RC was seen, and Cheetor, he's versus Cheetor, who's been in Cyberverse, who's in Kingdom.
Prime has a big following. TFCon showed me that in 2018.
Yeah.
A lot of people have nostalgia for Prime in a way that I haven't seen since Beast Wars.
Yeah.
Like, there's Bake people, there's, Unicron Trilogy people, absolutely. But, like, I saw a bunch of people cosplaying as Prime characters. And I was just, it's fine. It was an okay show, but, it really stuck with some people. And, I think that's good,
Yeah. So, with all of the leaks that we have seen recently, were there any upcoming Red releases in that leak list that I'm forgetting?
I don't think so.
Because the flip side of that is this is supposed to be Toy Fair-ish around now, and with everything that has transpired in the last year, there is no Toy Fair this year, but I am sure that there will be...
From the before times.
The before times, yes.
We don't talk about the before times, Nick.
But my point is there are bound to be some Hasbro reveals in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I wonder if we don't see some Red reveals out of that. And I'm curious to see what... Because at this point, both teams know each other exist. Whether or not they know what each other's making, who knows? But I wonder where they go with that from there. I would
say Super 7 more knows that the Red Series exists than the Red Series team knows that Super 7 exists.
That I would bet. Bet that's a very true statement.
And I think given that the Ultimates aren't going to show up on the shelves, but Reaction does, because that has some mass retail release. And it's like you were talking about how they don't cross streams, Rick. Like, I'm wondering if one day Hasbro execs walking down the aisle and they see, wait, why does that look kind of like our thing? Except it has way better card art.
You said exact. That was the wrong word. You mean Mark?
Yeah. Executives don't walk into stores. Come on.
Executives.
You know what I mean.
They certainly don't go to Walmarts.
I don't go to Walmart. I don't go to any stores. That's a me thing.
But if these showed up, like if the same character showed up in Red and showed up in Ultimates, like which one are you gonna get?
Well, both obviously.
Well,
there's an 7-inch versus 6-inch, and then
realistically, if you put a gun to my head and said you could only have one of them, I probably would go with the Super 7 one, because Super 7 is likely to flesh out that line more of like Action Master dudes. I think if Redline's going to have an Action Master person, I think it's going to be a 1 or a 2 off. Whereas I think Super 7's liable to keep it coming.
Yeah, but Super 7 is not likely to, in my opinion, may not be likely to do Cheetor, Transformers Prime RC, Transformers Prime Knockout. We know we're getting those guys, right?
And that's fine for Prime fans, but I want Action Masters. I want Action Master love. I want some company to pay attention to the rest of Gen 1 and give it to me. Yeah. Because we haven't gotten that.
You know what I would love? I would love little decoys of all the Micromasters.
Gimme.
I would love Hasbro to finish one of the 40 fucking Micromaster teams they started and abandoned.
Could you please?
Omnibots.
It's not going to happen.
Throttlebots.
Omnibots.
Pretenders.
Double
Target Masters.
It makes me want to get rid of all my Micromasters because they've just abandoned them now. I think that was just a real shit move on their part. Why would you have start so many? I don't get it.
Well, who knows? Maybe we see more after Kingdom. Isn't the next wave supposed to be the cleanup wave?
Yeah, to keep us asking for those particular things so
right.
that they can say that there was a market and a clamor from the masses for the rest of the Astro Squad or the rest of the Off-Road Patrol or the rest of the whoever's.
I just want to finish the military team. That's all I want. The first one. I forget exactly the name of it. Battle Patrol, yeah. I just want them to finish that because that was always my favorite as a kid. And I was like, it's the first one. When they do finish, that'll be the first one they finish, right? And it's just...
But Rob, if they never complete anything, you'll just keep collecting.
Yeah. No, I've stopped. That's the thing. I've stopped. And I'm probably going to get rid of what I bought.
One day.
Because it's just... So...
Sidebar specifically for the Battle Patrol, that's the one set I did not get as a kid because my uncle, we saw it in the store, and my uncle's like, I'm going to get you that one. I was like, are you going to get it for me now? He's like, no, for your birthday. And then he never did. Oh. And I kept seeing it over and over again. And I was like, my uncle's going to get it for me. He's going to get it for me. And then Transformers just went away. And I was like, oh, well.
Well, he's in jail now.
Shit.
So.
He died mysteriously one day.
It was rough. I was visiting, and then...
I got your set, apparently.
Yeah.
And this is why you don't buy Transformers for Transformer fans, right? Because they either already have it, or they'll be disappointed.
Or they wait for you because you said you're going to get it, so that there's a check mark by that thing. I can't get it.
Or you do what I do, and I give my wife a list, and like, hey, pick one of these items.
Oh, that's what we do now. That's what we do now.
Always see the one I want the least. But it was still on the list, so it's still good.
She blocks off a section of the list and says, from here to here, don't touch any of this, and tell me which ones from this section are your favorite. I'm like, this one, that one, and that one. She goes, okay, do not buy those. Okay.
So what you shouldn't do is, like, if you're on a podcast that does a Secret Santa, put things on your list and then immediately go buy it afterwards.
Yes.
Okay. Just make sure that's what you shouldn't do. Okay.
There was one year where I told my wife that she got me a very nice thing, and then it was under the tree one year, and I opened it. And I'm like, "This is from you. Oh, thank you." And it was Predaking, and it was very nice.
And you already had like 2 of them.
No. I used her credit card to buy it for me.
Oh, got it. Sorry, I heard that backwards. Got it.
Yeah, sorry. I actually already had one, but that was, to keep sealed.
Yeah. Obviously, you need 2 anyway, so.
Right.
That's
well,
what-
that one I need 3 because it's a combiner.
That's what we just did for Christmas for me.
Wait, but
For the
don't
first
you
time.
need 4?
No, because I don't do alt modes.
Oh, okay.
Everything-
well, yeah, I mean,
every-
don't be crazy.
That's right out.
Everything is in robot mode. That's why it drives me crazy. The Beast Wars mutants. I'm like, what's the fucking mode? What's the fucking mode?
Well, and then it's Soundwave, and you don't even breathe on that one.
Dead Air is good podcast.
We all stopped breathing. We all stopped.
Well,
So, the Action Masters, how many waves were there? Like, how many Action Masters are there, Peter?
Okay, so there were 3 waves of the single pack figures in America. There were the small vehicles, there were the larger vehicles, and there were the leader class vehicles. And then Europe got one more wave of each of those things. They got, and plus the elites. Europe got the elites. We didn't get the elites. So there were 3 sets of 6 of the basics. There were 4 small vehicles, 3 larger vehicles.
There's 3 big vehicles.
3 big vehicles, and
Yeah.
and then Europe had Slicer and Rumbler and Circuit and
Oh, Circuit.
there was a ton of stuff planned. A ton of stuff that was planned, concepted, prototyped.
Mm-hmm.
Just never made it out.
There's was it that Gut Cruncher's the other big one? I think. Is
yeah,
that right?
Gut Cruncher and Megatron were in the same shipper case.
So Prime went by it. Was he just shipped by himself then? Okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
Because those are the 3 huge ones.
Different size. Yeah, and then Sprocket and Wheeljack were by themselves, and then Prowl, Overrun, Starscream, and Axer.
Maybe that's
I love that one.
We need
Axe's
shut
great.
versions of the Action Master original characters, but they have to transform into the original Action Master, whatever that vehicle was.
See, but that's where you run into an issue because Overrun doesn't have a green part on his body,
Yeah.
but he's a red dude that has a green chopper, so that's not going to work.
He's
And-
gonna have to flip
Axer-
inside out.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's miracle transformation.
Right.
I would love modern transforming Action Masters like the what ifs. That would be great. Not the club stuff, not club.
I love the club
Overrun
stuff.
was supposed to turn into a green helicopter, though.
Was it?
Was Overrun supposed to turn into a green helicopter?
He's a
No,
red,
just that was his vehicle.
his vehicle was but he's a red dude. He's a red and yellow. Like he looks like he turns into a helicopter. He looks basically like he has Whirl's body, with a different head and no claws. He's got that cockpit chest canopy doodly doo, and doodly doo. Prowl, how are you gonna reconcile Prowl? He has car headlight chests, and he turns into a turbo cycle. No,
No. You don't have them turn into the vehicles.
Oh, that's what you said.
that's what you said.
No, they have to have like the proper alt modes that their robot mode suggested.
Oh yes, I would. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is I
Okay.
want Overrun to turn into a red
There's
helicopter.
just
thing.
one problem, though.
Yeah.
Tread shot, right? Isn't he the one that's clearly a gun?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Maybe
really
I
a
can make him
warpath,
submarine.
kind of though.
Upside
He
down.
could be a tank.
Hey, Rob. Go grab your gun robo, the Italian guy. Show the world. I just turned on Google. She's talking at me now. She's like, sorry, I don't understand what you're asking.
Why is this tread shot? We don't know, but it's tread shot.
That's close
Oh.
enough.
It's very tread shot.
It's
Wow.
I mean,
It
it's
is.
head.
There's
It's the
not-
same
it's not a-
head. It's everything.
Yeah, it's not that looks like it. No, this is tread shot. Why we don't know, but like that's him for
And
whatever reason.
He's beautiful.
What is this
I never
thing?
put that
What
together.
is he?
Gun robo.
What does he transform into?
Yeah, but like
I don't know. I
none
think
of
it's
his
a
art
spaceship
anywhere
or
ever
something.
looked like the toy.
It's an upside down
What's
submarine.
What,
Yeah,
what
see?
type of car does he turn into?
See, it's a submarine, guys. It's really fun to play at playgrounds with.
All right, so here's something I'm going to throw out that, it's very off topic, but it just occurred to me, and I'm like, how does this not exist? A G1 figure that turns into its movie version.
No.
How does that not exist?
What do you mean?
How about, like a G1 Optimus Prime robot mode that transforms into the movie robot mode? How does it not exist?
No.
It's crazy. So it should exist, theoretically.
You're hurting my brain.
I get you now. It just transforms to a robot to another robot.
Right.
Like Greebles, you add detail and Greebles to it. You make him looking good to looking like Baber's junk.
No. He's not saying the Bay movie. He's saying like G1 Optimus Prime the toy to G1 Optimus Prime in the cartoon.
No.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm saying G1 Optimus Prime into Bayverse Optimus Prime.
Okay, Peter was right then. Never mind. That's stupid. That's fine. That's the worst idea that he's ever had.
But I'm surprised it doesn't exist.
They did those what were they called? Not continuum packs. There were like those. They packed them together.
Right. Yeah, they were out for like a second.
Yeah, and I mean
the Megatron one. I could never find the Optimus. But they reissued the G1 Optimus and Megatron, but they packed them in with
the movie, whatever movie, the second movie, I think.
Yeah.
At that point.
That'd be easy to do for Megatron though, because you take a Megatron-looking toy with like just that's full of magnets, and you drop it into a bucket of shards of metal, pick it up, and you got movie Megatron. And he's got like an electromagnet in it. You press a button and it turns off the magnets and all the parts fall off. Boom. He's back to Junior Megatron.
That's about right.
Done. I'll take my check, Hasbro.
So they did that, and they also had, wasn't there like an Evolution line that was Toys R Us exclusive for, I want to say, Age of Extinction, where they showed, like, they showed Strafe. They showed Gen 1 Strafe, and on the back, it was the blue
Dinobot.
Strafe.
Yeah, that was the 2-pack, right?
Yeah, and it's like, what are you guys doing?
They had a Grimlock too, right?
Figure, but it came with like a Legends Chug, but on the packaging it was G1.
Like the Strafe, I want to say they had the Minicon Pteranodon painted like Gen 1 Swoop, the blue version of the Dinobot from the movie Swoop, and on the back, since it was named Strafe, they had a picture of Gen 1 Strafe.
That's right.
And it was just like, what the fuck? Oh, excuse me, what the heck is this? Yes.
That's what happens when you get an intern and say, go to Google image search to put this packaging together. and
that's how we got those orange Blitzwing and
Wait, really?
That was such a weird thing.
Make this your project for the semester. Okay.
Do you actually know where that Blitzwing came from?
Hey, intern, make this your project for the semester.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were being
Seriously?
tongue-in-cheek or not.
Yeah.
Because that was the weirdest thing
Why
I've
did
seen.
they pick the colors on Astrotrain?
I thought they were a reference to, was it one of the, what the fuck, Landcross? Is it not?
No.
That was conjecture.
Yeah.
Was that people trying to figure it out afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because it made no sense in situ.
It was a puzzle without a solution because it wasn't designed.
Oh, God.
It was a random color wheel. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, yeah, make that. Maybe somebody will buy it.
Yeah, hey Siri, deco these toys.
You can be purple and orange.
Well, I put out these cat treats, and I laid them on top of colors, and these are the first 3 my cat ate. and then it threw up over here, so we'll use that for the other toy, those colors.
Yeah, like, I don't know what a space shuttle is, so those don't exist anymore, so it's orange. It's orange now.
We are so old.
Yeah.
How does those not get repurposed as shattered glass, though?
That's how old we are.
I think the brand team today would look into doing something like that, you know, but I don't think the team of that era, they were just like, oh, we should use these again, just make something to put on a shelf. Walmart or Target or whoever it was, they want an exclusive, so just make something, you know.
I want a Super 7 reissue Blitzwing colors, Blitzwing in Ultimates.
That's like when eHobby did the skids and whatever 2-pack to look like the movie colors, and it's just like,
Skids
why
and-
would you?
Speaking of, his name was Screech. Skids and Screech.
Yes.
And Screech died today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Also, hashtag fuck cancer.
Yeah.
Not even
Fuck
joking.
cancer. Yeah, fuck cancer.
All right. Well, is there anything else we need to cover on this topic now that we've went a million different ways?
Action Masters are awesome. I have 4 shelves of Action Masters. They are a lot of fun. They are a neglected toy line, or subline of G1.
They are much better than they get credit for, and I hope that we see lots of the new characters from the Action Masters continue to show up in Super 7. I would be less enthused about revisiting the same G1 guys.
Yeah, I think Super 7 has a lot of potential for that. So, Action Masters are good, and everybody should have some on there. If you collect vintage, you should have some. They're fun.
They're an underrated line. They're well loved. Bring me Charger. Bring me Power Flash. Bring me Tread Shot. Bring me Kickoff. Bring me Jackpot. Bring me Rad. Where's Rad?
Yeah.
Where's Rad? In any of the lines, where's Rollout?
Ooh.
What is
Wait,
that?
what is this?
That's a Siege Megatron
Is this
with a
a leak?
Galvatron, TR Galvatron on his arm. What are you doing?
I will say, like, another shelf I have is all the Fun Pub homages to Action Masters. I have all those lined up with like 1 or 2 extras that came out at retail in there. But that's also, I don't know. It's just fun. It's just fun. So give me more oddball stuff. I'm so sick of the core cast. I'm done. I'm over it.
I agree.
Unless it's like version 4.0 from Takara Masterpiece, then I got to buy it again. But other than that,
I was gonna say the Bonsai-tron
Said
is
that
the
for
one
you,
I'm
Nick.
thinking about.
yeah, I'm going to get the 2 Action Master homages. The other 2, I'm not sure. I probably won't, is how I'm feeling. Although I love the accessories with Prime. Like, those are just so silly.
Yeah.
That is great. Starscream needs some love.
And
Yeah.
it's not the first Optimus Prime to come with a surfboard.
No, it is not.
Kiss players.
Well,
But it is the
actually,
first Optimus,
maybe we'll get an Ultimates Legion.
technically, was it Transmetal 2 Optimus Primal? Kind of.
Actually, that's a different character.
It is
so
a different,
can't-
but he's his ancestor, though. So I'm just saying, there's a link there. Although
An
one of
ape
the Action
link?
Masters has Action
Ape
Masters.
link.
One of them has a skateboard, don't they? Somebody.
Yeah,
has-
Jazz. Jazz is a skateboard.
Yeah, that's right. I thought so.
I think it's called a turbo board.
It's silly.
We're skating our way into the 90s. Please set me on fire.
I mean, one of the guys' name is literally Rad. It was just, he was wearing sunglasses and like not listening to his parents all the time. Totally. I don't got time for homework. I'm too busy playing Sonic. Beep, boop, 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 boop. That's his character. Pretty
Book
sure.
club this week is RID 17 through 19. Check that out on our TFYLP Discord. That's Sunday nights at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. And then tomorrow night we will be doing a toy review of something. I'm not sure what yet.
Ooh, something. I don't have that yet.
On the tftalk.net Facebook page. So check that out. That'll be at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. And then I don't know if we're having Oof My Wallet on Wednesday night, so I'll have to check with Paul on that.
I
So
have a really good booth.
there you go.
Wait, I have like a really good booth.
You need to message Paul and tell him to make the show happen.
I told him last week, and he's like, "Oh, I got a thing."
Yeah, some of us
Maybe
can
it's
do
a
shows for things.
I'll go as far as saying it's probably the most expensive oof we've had on the show.
Ooh,
Wow.
there we go. I mean, we will have to have a special oof whenever this Unicron comes in.
Unicron.
That is.
Yeah.
Like, we could all figure out a way to sit on top of our boxes. So,
Oh Lord, it's coming.
Did they charge us for Unicron yet or not?
Like a
We
year
paid
ago.
for it
Yeah.
on the front end.
Oh, okay.
So he's paid for it. It's just it's going to show up at my door, and I'm going to have no place to put it. It's going to be great, and by
My
great
postal.
I mean terrible.
I mean, you
feel
can put
bad
it
for
on
the
eBay.
FedEx guy.
But then my collection wouldn't be complete, Rob. I can't sell it.
It'll never be complete.
Your
It's not
collection
going to be complete.
It'll be complete.
That's
No.
a different show, guys. That's a different show.
Every show is the Nick Intervention Hour. Haven't you learned?
So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you to everyone in the chat.
10 minutes in my collection, and you'll know that your collection will never be complete.
The stuff that wasn't made doesn't count.
It
Rick.
exists, doesn't it? It has a physical property, doesn't it?
That's like
Rick,
Lucky
stealing
Draws.
from the
Lucky
Hasbro
Draws
store
don't
does
count.
not
Not on the
count.
checklist.
Stealing from the vault does not count. If you go into the Hasbro archives and you just wholesale lift shit, that doesn't count as part of a collection.
I mean, it's a collection, but
It's your
not
collection,
official
but it's not like the
Transformer releases.
official, I got this on the checklist collection.
Show
Rick's-
it to me in a pamphlet.
Rick's Thrifty Fingers is not whatever. Yeah. No. I like your collection, for the record. But goddamn, dude.
Well, you know, if you only got access to the Hasbro archives. Anyway,
Let me
thank you
in.
to Peacemo, Zaldron, Bedford, Minifigure Collector, Esquire Prime, Paul. Let's see, who else
Anna.
I'm like forgetting. Anna was in there. Ron was in
Bill was
there.
somewhere.
I was gonna say I need to write these down as I'm going. If I missed anyone, I apologize. But yeah, thank you guys for participating in the chat. Thank you guys. Is Unicron Paul's baby? So there you go.
The timing is suspicious.
That's true.
That's the kid's middle name.
I would
This
think it would
may
be
or may not be
Starscream.
my kid. It's suspicious.
Yeah. I swear, honey, this is for the kid. It's not for me. It's a. Someone showed up with like
What's
a
that
shower.
thing above the crib? The
Oh God! They crush the baby as it falls.
it just hangs above the crib.
Like, menacingly, like, oh, crap.
Oh,
It's
and
just-
JJ
you got
Prime
the-
reviews. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, thank you everyone, and we'll see you guys next week.